Greetings. This is TimeRider at Chapter 4. I've said it before, and I'm sure I'll say it again, that every time I do a restoration, I learn a valuable lesson. And today is no different, and I'm going to tell you the lesson right at the beginning. When you order decals, especially itty-bitty little decals, from England, and they aren't that expensive to begin with, order 2 sets. You'll save yourself a lot of headache, a lot of heartache, and a lot of frustration. That being said, we'll move on to my presentation for the day. Today's restoration is the 32C Leyland Petrol tanker, which was released in 1968 as a regular wheels version, and it did make the jump into the Superfast. In the Superfast, I understand the cab was available in a couple of different colors, purple or maroon or something like that. But in the regular wheels, which you're looking for mostly, if I understand it correctly, is the white grille versus the chrome grille. Mine has a chrome grille. As you look at mine, one of the things you might notice is that the front bumper is broken on the left side, and I'll deal with that in a little later in the video. The model wasn't in too bad a shape. It was pretty chipped up from heavy play, but all in all, it was not in bad condition. By the by, I had a little mishap with my spinning table during this restoration, and maybe I'll address it a little later on. But, so anyway, here we go. Every restoration done, all of mine, and every one done by just about every other die-cast restoring artist, starts the same way, with the drilling of the posts. After that, I generally take the model and inspect it to see if I notice anything that needs to be repaired. The tank looked pretty good. The grill looked pretty good, except of course for that little broken spot on the left side. The glass was in very good condition. Had no cracks, it wasn't heavily scratched. Probably used that without nearly touching it very much at all. And of course the chassis looked pretty good too. A little chipped up here and there, but all in all, not a bad chassis at all. Now, I suppose I could have tried to fix it, but it made more sense to me to use a different alternative. I had the pipe truck with a broken bed, cracked windshield, and a busted wheel that uses the exact same grille and bumper as the petrol truck. So I thought, why not just take the parts out of the pipe truck and put them into the petrol truck? So here I go, drilling out the post on the pipe truck. Now, in case you're wondering, yes, I speeded the videos up, but that's because I don't want to bore you looking at the double X hands that I have, as Dutch would say, or the bottom of my drill. Anyway, once I got the front clip out with the grill and the bumper, I went to remove the wheels because the axles were pretty rusty and it was going to need some cleaning. So here I am with my Dremel removing the wheels. As Marty would say, it's a fiddly bit of business removing wheels. One of my subscribers suggested that I spend more time going over the processes that I use for a restore. So one of the things I try to do is take a file and file away a little bit of the post so that when I go to put it back together, I'm not fighting with any burrs that are left after I've removed the chassis from the body. You have to be very careful when doing this so you don't file something off that you don't want filed off. Once I'm satisfied with the posts, it's time to tap out the holes. I use a 3-in-1 oil when I'm running my taps to kind of help them along a little bit. Sorry, I'm still drilling here. There's my double XL hand and the back of my drill. Little oil, little tap. As these were solid color castings, I was pretty sure my orange citrus stripper would work. So I shot it up and spread it around with a brush to get it all over the place and let it set for a while for the stripper to work. For this next step, I have an admission to make. That is not Marty's wife's toothbrush. It's my old toothbrush. I'm sorry I lied. I had no intent to deceive. I was trying to be clever. But anyway, here I am cleaning the paint off, which came off very easily, except of course in all the little crevices and everything. But I always have to deal with that separately anyway.
I don't want a sirloin steak, you can take pie and cake, they give me a tummy ache. I like stinky cheese, Liederkranz or camembert, soft Gruyere, Roquefort rare, gee, it smells, but I don't care, I like stinky cheese. Just remember this, please, a piece of Swiss cheese is heavenly, dump and dump, strong cheese fairly fells me. My family tells me that half the city smells me. All the folks are horrified, run inside, try to hide. I'm alone but satisfied. I like stinky cheese.
Ja, look bien stinky!
Everybody dance, everybody dance.
Way over Magic Boots! Come on!
And now with my blind squirrel tool, you'll see how well a safety pin works at removing paint from the crevices. If you get it under there, it comes off in one big long stream. I love it. I use this on almost every model I do. Between the two pieces, I probably did spend the better part of an hour picking bits of paint. And then I was ready for primer. Tamiya Light Gray, no surprises, I've said it 100 times. I really like this primer. When I got done priming and I was taking a look at how well the tank turned out, I noticed a spot that you might be able to see here. I don't know what was under the primer, but it was going to show up through the paint, because when you have big smooth surfaces like that and you paint it, any little imperfection is going to show up. So I found it necessary to wet sand that area to take off whatever rough patch that was. And when I did it, of course, it sanded right back down to the metal, so I was going to have to do some more priming on the tank to get it right. So here we go. Priming over the area that I sanded down, and this really took care of the problem. It was nice and smooth. after I finished, which was, of course, exactly what I was looking for. Like I said, when you have big flat areas like that, if you just lay the paint over the top of an imperfection, if it shows up on the primer, it's really going to show up, especially with a color like white. And in my limited experience, I have learned this. If you're going to paint two colors, you should probably paint the lighter color first. You usually have to do, at the very least, a cursory cleaning in between colors. And if you do the dark color first, it might influence the light color. There's less of an opportunity for a color like white to influence the green, at least not in any large way. So the first thing I'm going to do here is paint the tank white. Again, long, slow strokes, light coats, a little bit of dry time between each coat. You don't want to try. You want to take your time. One nice thing about airbrushing is it lays the paint on real thin, which is going to allow you to retain the detail of the casting. Even as a Padawan learner, rookie, inexperienced guy, I've learned that much already. Each model you do, you get a little better. And so after I'm done with the white, I do kind of a cursory cleaning where I pull the needle out and clean it up a little bit, and then I'm ready for my green, which you see me putting on here. You know, again, long, slow strokes, not trying to cover too much at once. I usually do multiple coats, at least 2, sometimes 3, because I want to retain the detail of the casting. While I'm waiting for the painted parts to cure, I turned my attention to the wheels. Some of them had quite a bit of rust, so I cleaned them with a little bit of Windex. And here I'm using the tire wash that Marty uses. It's basically just black paint that's very, very thin. And you put it on both sides, and it really returns the wheels to their original luster. I use it on the vast majority of the models I do. I've had a couple of people who subscribe ask me how I deal with my glass, and I use this product called Novus. It's a 3-step process, but you can also buy the 2-step kit. The 3-step is for heavy scratches, the 2-step is for light scratches. The first thing is this cleaner that you put on the glass, and you just use it to kind of clean the glass, or I should say plastic, to clean the windscreen. And get it ready for the polish, which is step 2. Now, when you have big fat fingers like me, you drop a lot of stuff. But here's step 2 of the Novus process, which is really, it's a very, very mild abrasive. For all I know, I could probably accomplish the same thing with toothpaste, but I've had such good luck with this that I just like to use it. So that's what I use. It's really kind of a rubbing compound, and you just rub it in, and you know, when you've rubbed it enough, I guess, you wipe it off, and it usually makes the windscreens look absolutely wonderful. I've never used it on a really heavily damaged one. But for those that are still in pretty good shape and maybe just lightly scratched, this stuff is great. So I threw a couple of stills on here of the the body components after they had been clear coated, and then a still of the grill after I had attacked it with my chrome pen. And it turned out really good. Using the grill from the grill and bumper from the steak truck was the way to go. And then, of course, we're going to move on to the final reveal. And there it is. I think I might have missed my green a little bit. And as it comes around, you're going to see what happens to tiny decals. It tore. And boy, oh boy, I spent a lot of time getting it back together as well as I did get it back together. I would have liked to have had another set, because then this would be perfect. And I may yet order another set and redo this. Otherwise, I'm very, very happy with how this turned out. In case you're wondering, I reattached the wheels. I put a little blob of epoxy, a little ball of it, and kind of press it down and turn it into a hub. And then I paint it silver because I don't have a drill press to use Marty's process. I found this method actually works pretty well and gives a pretty good result. Sorry this is long, but this is the Matchbox number 32C, Leyland Petrol Tanker. This is Chapter 4 with TimeRider. Thanks for watching. Put your comments below, good or bad, and please subscribe.